If you're feeling burnt out right now, I completely understand. You're staring at a blank screen, forcing the ideas, and wondering if you've lost the spark. Well, guess what? You haven't. It's still there. It's just buried underneath all the noise and pressure that life has thrown at you. So in this video, I am going to help you find it again, even when you feel like you have literally zero motivation. And at the end of the video, you will know all my tips and tricks on how I stay creative even when I feel like giving up. Some of the things I'm going to be talking about, some people may not agree with me, but honestly, I am talking through past experience, the things that have helped me personally. Because it wasn't that long ago where I went through a stage of having no motivation to do any type of creative work. And every time I try to pick up the camera or try to do anything creative, my mind would just go blank and I just get frustrated at myself because I can't do the thing that I want to do. So here are my few tips and tricks if you ever feel burnt out. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the importance of taking the break. Sometimes the best thing that you can do in order for you to recharge your body and your mind is take a break from creating. Now, I know this sounds a little bit silly, but you're probably thinking, well, Alex, I've clicked on your video for you to tell me how to be more creative when I feel burnt out, not to just take a break. But here's the thing, majority of my YouTube videos, all these ideas came from when I was just relaxing and enjoying my life. The days that I force myself to go into the office and script write or do any type of kind of like planning or editing, those are the days where my mind just goes blank. Now, there is a very big difference between being lazy and just taking a break. You have to understand that taking a break from something in order for you to kind of recharge your body and mind so you can come back a lot better and more motivated and more focused is part of you being creative. That is you being productive in a way. On the other hand, you going and watching 20 episodes of your favorite series back to back while eating a pack of Doritos, well, that's probably not the best use of your time, which is still okay, but it's just not the best thing to do. The other healthy options of taking a break could be such thing as like going for a walk in the park or going and seeing your friends, spending time with your family, going on holidays, just doing a lot of happy stuff. Because we all probably experience this where we either sit on our phones for too long or watch too much TV. That feeling that we get is like, well, I just wasted like 4 hours of my life. It's not the greatest feeling. But on the other hand, if you're going out and spending time with your friends, doing a lot of happy stuff, then you don't get that kind of feeling. You feel a lot better for it. So give yourself plenty of time to kind of just recharge your brain and your mind to be more focused. Especially if you're, for example, if you got a full-time job or you're studying or you're a parent who got kids to look after. Just remember that taking the time for yourself to kind of recharge is part of the creative process. That is you being productive. But speaking of time, here's another thing that you can do in order for you to kind of be more productive and spark some creative ideas into you. So take your time to learn something new. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, well, what's learning something new got to do with being productive when you're feeling burnt out? Well, first of all, you're taking your time off from any creative work to learn a new skill. Second of all, the things that you learn can spark new ideas. There has been so many times where I've taken the break from YouTube, from creating any type of content, just to kind of learn new things about the niche that I'm talking about. So for example, I'll watch a podcast about cameras, or I'll watch a podcast about content creating, or read a motivational book. And then that will just kind of spark a new idea into me. Maybe I'll hear like a very good quote, or one of my favorite YouTubers said something, and I'm thinking to myself, well, this could actually make a very good YouTube video. And not necessarily I'm gonna go and create the video straight away. I'm just gonna write it down on my phone or on my pad just as a video idea, so I have ideas for when I run out of ideas. In fact, this YouTube video that I'm creating now, the idea came from it after reading a book by Ryan Holiday, The Obstacle is the Way. If you haven't read that book, that is such a good book to read if you're kind of like struggling through life or feel like life is kind of beating you down a little bit. There is a lot of very good quotes in there to kind of, give you all the motivation, inspiration that you need. But the other thing that I want to talk about is what I like to call it the 5-minute task. Now, 5-minute task is literally a 5-minute task. So for example, whenever I feel like creating a new YouTube video, I have to think about all those things that I have to start doing, whether it's script writing, planning, filming, editing. All those things can feel a little bit overwhelming. So the thing that I do is break it down into 5-minute tasks. So let's say that I want to start something. Could be a thumbnail. I literally just give myself a 5-minute task because 5 minutes doesn't seem like a long time. I can manage 5 minutes. But here's the magic of it. 99% of the time, I always end up working for way longer than 5 minutes. The 5 minutes I use is just to kind of trick my brain into thinking, I'm only going to be working on this task for 5 minutes, and that's it. And majority of the time, I always end up just working for a lot longer than that, because I then get into this creative state or flow, let's say. So the 5-minute task is kind of a very good way to trick your brain into just getting started on the thing that you want to start. You can also kind of set yourself a timer on your phone. Set it to maybe 5 or 10 minutes or however long that you want to kind of focus on, and just make sure to put it near your table so you can see the timer running down, so you can see how much time you've got left. And I guarantee you, by the end of that time, you'll still feel like continuing to go for more, because you just get into that creative state and creative flow where you just want to create more. It's a simple little hack, but honestly, it works. But those are the things that help me to stay creative when I feel burnt out. And as always, guys, if you have found any value in this video, then hit that subscribe button. My aim is to help all the beginner creators when it comes to content creating, inspiration, camera gear reviews. So if you're into that stuff, then hit that subscribe button, become the member of this little community. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you lot in the next one. Cheerio. Because it wasn't that long ago where I felt like just something. Why is there so much rubbish on the table? Dust. Yeah.